your client is the person who's here on a visa working for a U.S. company, issued RSUs or stock options, whatever it might be, might make sense to gift that while they're alive to their parents back in their country of origin for tax reasons.
Correct. Assuming that, obviously the issue that all of our clients have is, making sure that there's enough for themselves.
Can I afford to do that?
Can I afford to do that? But, I've had a number of clients who are Silicon Valley success stories. They've gone from a couple of $1 million worth of stock to all of a sudden it's now worth $10 million to now it's worth $40 million. Now it's worth $100 million. So that is, although it's not frequent, it happens enough times that if they can give that away without having it be subject to tax, that is definitely something that they want to be able to do. And they do want to help mom buy a home or, have a more comfortable retirement.
Sure.
And our money, the dollar goes a lot further in other countries than it does here. So what we might not consider enough to live on for the rest of our lives can make a huge difference in the lives of loved ones back in a different country.
The example you gave is let's send $500,000 worth of stock back home. And you said there's no estate tax, no gift tax, because the person doing the transferring is not a U.S. person. They don't have a green card. They aren't a citizen. And is there no limit at all? They could be sending $100 million worth of stock back home?
That is correct.
This person's not subject to U.S. gift and estate tax laws?
Not exactly.
Okay.
They are subject to U.S. gift and estate tax laws. It's just that the gift and estate tax rules are a little bit different.
For them.
And it has to be a person who is not a U.S. The legal term that we use in the international field is domiciliary. So you can be a U.S. resident for income tax purposes, but you are not necessarily a U.S. domiciliary for estate tax purposes.
Oh, okay.
So it's just one of those little minor distinctions. Basically, if you remember back to law school, the good old international shoe case, you can have many residences, but you can only have one home.
Got it.
So a domicile is most easily translated into what do you consider your home?
Where is your home?
And one of the things in order to get a visa in the United States that you have to do is swear that you are not going to make the United States your home. So because it's not your home, there are some loopholes that you can take advantage of to transfer wealth outside of the country. But again, they're different. U.S. stock for gift tax purposes isn't subject to gift tax, but that same U.S. stock, if you die owning it, is subject to estate taxes.
Okay. Yeah, we're really kind of nerding out on that. But
yeah.
but it's an important point.
There's a lot of planning opportunities that work around that.
You use the term loophole, and that's probably how the general public sees it. But the way we see it is it's a planning opportunity. There's a disparity between what's income taxable and what's gift taxable. Take advantage of it.
Right. And as you and I both know, the advantage isn't as great as it was a number of years ago when the estate tax rate was a lot higher. But again, from the perspective of the person that's here on a visa, they've only got a $60,000 exemption versus a $13,990,000 exemption this year.
Right.
So that can be a tremendous opportunity, and the tax rate is high. If you're a non-domiciliary and you have an estate of $1 million, you're going to pay $345,000 in estate tax or gift tax, and it's 40% of everything that's over that. So a $5 million estate is $345,000 on the first million, and then $400,000 on each additional million. So that's another 4 times 4 is 1.6. So you've got 1.6 plus 345. You've got almost $2 million of estate tax on a $5 million estate. And while in this area, people don't think that they're millionaires if they've only got $5 million, the truth is that they are. And you don't want to see roughly 40% of that have to go to taxes because you haven't planned well.